Hello everyone, welcome back to another great episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Today we're going to be doing stuffed shells with fresh mozzarella and a meat sauce. So let's get started. I wanted to show you, this is the type of pasta that I am using. I got this at a Whole Foods store. Now these pastas are colored with like natural spinach and tomato and spinach, tomato, and I'm missing something. Beetroots. So I decided to get these. I've made the normal ones before, and the skin is a little bit more thinner. So I want to show you when they're all done what they look like. And you wanna boil these at the package directions, but you want them to be a little al dente, which just means half cooked, because we're going to be putting this in the oven at 350 degrees for about half an hour, covered. And then we'll take the cover off and we'll leave it in there for another 10 minutes for all the cheese to get really nice, ooey and gooey. So I want to show you here how these beautiful shells turned out. I've already boiled them, and I boiled them in some olive oil and salt water. I always boil my pasta that way. If you don't want to put salt in it, that's fine, but I always do. So quickly I'm going to go and go over some of the ingredients. It looks like we have a lot of ingredients, but there's just a couple things that we need to assemble, and so that's why it looks like we have a lot of ingredients. But we're gonna be using one onion chopped. We're gonna be using about four spring onions chopped. We have 2 cups of fresh mozzarella here that I have cut up a little differently. I have one cubed and I have one tried to thinly slice it. When you have fresh mozzarella, it's really hard to grate it. I mean, I think unless you freeze it, I don't think you can ever be able to grate it. I have some cheddar cheese. I have about a cup and a half, but we'll see. We don't have to use all of it. I've got some frozen spinach here. Now, for the frozen spinach, be very sure that you squeeze all the water out of it, because if you don't, you're gonna have a soup instead of a really nice pasta shell dinner. I have some white sauce here that I have made ahead of time, and I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently. We're going to be using bottled pasta sauce, not pizza sauce, not pasta sauce. Pasta sauce is a little bit more runnier, and pizza sauce is a little bit more thicker, and that's why I choose to use the pizza sauce. We're also going to be using about 1.5 pounds of ground beef that I've already cooked, and I always cook mine and put it in the freezer. Now if you don't have anything that's cooked, you can just cook yours before you make this dish. I have some Parmesan cheese, fresh Parmesan cheese. We're going to be using that. I have some sun-dried tomatoes. We're going to be using that. And always remember, my recipes, my videos, all my recipes are under the description. So if you hit the description and go see more, you'll see the whole recipe. I also have lemon pepper we're going to be using, some basil, some oregano, salt, some pepper, lost my thought here, ginger and garlic fresh. I've got ricotta cheese, and I've got olive oil. So let's quickly get started. In my pan here, I like my dish to be super flavorful. I'm just gonna add about 1 tablespoon of olive oil in here, and to that I'm gonna go ahead and add my onions. Now what I want to do with the onions is I want to caramelize the onions just a little bit before I add it into our mixture with the ricotta and the spinach. Okay, so I'm just gonna put the regular onions in first. Try and use sweet Vidalia onions if you can. Okay. While that's sauteing, I'm trying to make 2 small pyrex dishes, so we can have one today and then one the day after. And this recipe was inspired by people asking me to make the most romantic Valentine's dinner that would contain pasta and lots of cheese. So I thought there's nothing better than jumbo pasta shells with fresh mozzarella. And if you haven't tried fresh mozzarella, I highly recommend you do so. It's amazing. Amazing. All right, so while that's cooking, I'm gonna get my spinach. I'm gonna go also add some ginger and garlic into my, you don't have to add too much, but you know me, I love ginger and garlic. So I'm going to be using the whole container of about 3 pounds of ricotta cheese. And then I'll let you know how many pasta shells that filled. I'm just gonna, and the spinach I had was 16 ounces of frozen spinach. Mix all this together. You can see how beautiful the onions have started getting soft and caramelized. Now to that, I'm going to carefully put my spring onions in and making sure I don't have any of my mozzarella cheese going there. Because I still want the spring onions to have a little bit of a crunch. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and shut off my stove and just wait just a little bit until they become really nice and cool. All right, so we're gonna leave that aside. I'm gonna put this aside because we don't need it until we start putting all our layers together. Okay, so another thing that's gonna go in here is the sun-dried tomatoes. I guess I'm gonna need my chopping board back. Now I'm not gonna do a whole lot because these can be pretty tangy, but I love working with sun-dried tomatoes. They are super delicious. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop them up. And I don't want to cook them, but once they're pretty much chopped up, I'm just going to add it to our mixture here. So it gets a little nice and warm and it mixes with the onions, the caramelized onions, just a little bit. Okay, so while that's cooling off, I'm going to go ahead and add my parmesan, or what is it, mozzarella cheese into our mixture. And I'm also going to go ahead and sprinkle some basil. Now you could do fresh or oregano. You could do fresh basil, but I think it's a little bit overpowering for this dish. So there goes the basil. So the dried basil and the dried oregano. And what you want to do is you want to give this a taste test. Now make sure that you kind of remember that the Parmesan cheese is also going to be salted, and there is salt in the mozzarella cheese too. So just be careful before you add any more of good, but it's lacking flavor. So I'm gonna start adding some flavor in here. Some salt, some lemon pepper, and a lot of black pepper. Now this black pepper is really nice. fresh, and it's got the red, the black, and the white peppercorns in it. So I love this blend, and the way it gets grinded, it leaves a little bit coarse. It's not all powder, so that's what I like about it. I'm also going to go ahead and add about half a cup of cheddar cheese, and I'm going to mix all that together really well. So our filling is coming together really, really well. Okay, really easy. And the nice thing about this dish is you can even make it ahead of time and throw it in the freezer and take it out the day that you want to use it, because who wants to cook on Valentine's Day? So this is a great dish that can be made ahead and stuck in the freezer. Oh yeah, much better, much better. So now let's go ahead and add our mix of onions and sun-dried tomatoes. Okay. This mixture, believe it or not, goes really well in lasagnas too. So if I have some left over tomorrow, today I'm gonna whip up some lasagna for tomorrow using the same mixture. Okay, so this goes on the side. I'm gonna put this on the side because we're not gonna need it until we start layering it. We're just gonna go ahead and mix up our sauce. So in goes. Now you can definitely make your own sauce at home. I have a red sauce recipe that I used to make cabbage rolls. That sauce is also fantastic, but I just wanted to show you something that you can do really, really quickly. Okay. And then in here goes my ground beef. Now you can definitely add more the ground beef in the mixture too, if you prefer. I don't prefer it. I feel like it's enough when it's in our sauce. I'm just gonna go ahead and add all of it in there. So you can use even chicken if you like, but so our sauce is mixed up. Now at this point, if you want the dish to be spicy, you could add some paprika, some cayenne, some chili sauce, but I kind of want to keep it really, really mild. So again, in this mixture, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more basil and oregano, just because I want the flavors to carry through. Now, if you think that's over seasoning, which I don't think so, because we love our food seasoned really, really well, you can ignore this completely. And what's the nice thing about cooking is you can really, really adjust it according to your palate. So we've got all our stuff going, and so I'm going to show you the type of casserole dish that I'm going to be using. Is going to be a small pyrex dish, and I'm using a small one because I really hate when you put it in a big dish and then half of it is eaten and it looks all gross. So I was thinking I'll make one, we'll have that today, and then I'll make the other one we can have tomorrow, or I can freeze it for whenever I need it. So in here goes my oh yeah, first I'm going to do the white sauce, and this is why I like to do it just a little bit differently. I love white sauce in pasta dishes. It just adds so much more depth and the velvety mixture, and it's not dry. So this is why I decided, instead of having a tomato based or a pasta sauce or pizza sauce on the bottom, I was going to do the white sauce. And if you want to learn how to make this really beautiful no lump recipe for white sauce, I'm telling you, I have a video, and I'm going to put a link either on the top left or the bottom for you to check it out. It's an amazing recipe. It's foolproof that it's not going to clump up on you. So mine turns out really beautiful, just really velvety and smooth. And I did add salt in this, and not too much, but just enough. And then what we're going to do is, I did forget one thing, and that was, I knew I was forgetting something, and that was adding the Parmesan cheese in our mixture. So we're just going to go ahead and grate some of that in there. And then we're also going to top it off with more Parmesan cheese. And there's nothing like using the fresh Parmesan cheese compared to the one that's in the bottle. But if you don't have it, definitely use the bottled stuff. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do next is, I forgot to grab a spoon. So you can grab a spoon. Take your pasta shell, take the filling, and start off by adding 1 teaspoon in there. Some of them are big, some of them are small, so it depends. Okay, just like so. Now you could use a pastry bag and fill that up with a, but it won't work with this because we've got the pieces of mozzarella, fresh mozzarella in there. So that's going to get stuck. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to start filling these up with the filling, just like so. And I just love the colored pasta. It's amazing. Okay, just like so. I'm gonna layer this into my pyrex dish. I'm gonna finish all these up. When we come back, we're gonna go ahead and look at how beautiful these look. But I had quite a bit of the ricotta cheese mixture left over. So what I'm going to do is, you're going to find the complete recipe on the bottom. So the recipe that you're going to see on the description is only going to make about 40 to 50 shells. So I've got 20 in each pyrex dish here. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and spoon some of my meat mixture right on top, just like so. Okay, let's get some more in here, and then can adjust. And this is what I mean about having the mixture a little bit more thicker than using a pasta sauce. Now, if you like it to be a little bit more on the runnier side, go ahead and use pasta sauce. It's what you like. It's what your family likes. It's what how you want to cook the dish, and how you enjoy your dinner. So everybody has a different preference. All right, and I'm also going to have a little bit more of the pizza sauce on the side. So if I wanted to, if anybody else wanted to add some extra, they would have it. So then on top goes my cheddar cheese. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead, and I don't know if I want to cut these. I think I'm going to go ahead and just sliver these a little bit, so it's got more room to work here. Let's do this real quick. Like it's got, you know, it melts better. That's what I meant. You can just take a piece of cracker or toast, add a couple of this on it and a couple sun-dried tomatoes on it, put it in the microwave, and you're gonna have a delicious ooey gooey snack. All right, there you go. Now I'm going to go ahead and top this off with some more Parmesan cheese. So left it in there for half an hour, and then I turned the oven off, left it in for another 10 minutes, and here we go. Here we are. Look at how beautiful that looks. Now I could have waited and browned it a little bit more on top, but I really don't want to have that crisp layer on top. I kind of want it all soft, ooey and gooey. So let's see. They're just beautiful. Those shells are just gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous. And look at how we're getting that white sauce, and we're getting the cheese all melted. I'm gonna put one on my plate so I could do a taste test for you. Okay. Okay, this is what I love. Before even doing a taste test, this is what I love. I tell you, this is the best mozzarella cheese ever. Okay, so see how creamy this is. It's got that white sauce on the bottom, and then we did that meat sauce on top. And okay, so let's get into this. So if you see here, can't really see the layers inside, but I think I'm gonna go in and show you. It's got a creamy layer there, and I'm gonna give it a taste test here. Super hot, but that's how I like my food. I don't even know where to start and how to explain this dish to you, but just one word comes in mind, and that's velvety, cheesy. It's absolutely amazing. So give this a try. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Hope you can join me here next time with another great video. Thank you friends. I'm just so excited about eating this. It's just amazing.